Barely used a decade ago,
Pretty much all my friends have used it.
ketamine has since surged onto the illicit market.
It's boom time for ketamine.
International criminal gangs are cashing in,
The Australian ketamine market is growing and expanding.
and the number of people using ketamine has never been higher. At the Northside Hospital in Canberra, medical ketamine is closely controlled.
A secure room and a locked cupboard.
Ketamine stops a patient feeling pain during a medical procedure. It's a dissociative drug that works by altering what your brain can hear and see.
You have a dissociated individual who is not aware of their environment. They may have their eyes open, but they're unfamiliar or unconcerned about what is happening to them.
The dose is carefully calculated based on weight.
It's a sort of a twilight anesthetic. You're neither awake nor asleep.
Illegal users take a much smaller amount, creating a high. But if they take too much, a user finds themselves in a similar twilight state, dangerously incapacitated.
In the cases that I've been involved in treating in emergency over the last decade, most of the people that I've seen have either been robbed, assaulted, or sexually assaulted.
Illicit ketamine users describe this as a K-hole.
Did a bump and I was like, oh, that's hit me quite hard pretty quickly. And then I sat down, I felt like quite dizzy. I was like, oh, I think I'll probably K-hole here.
Like in hospital, being in a K-hole means you've lost control of your body.
You're kind of stuck, sort of just like waiting to, be able to use your arms and legs, I guess,
Unlike in hospital, being in a K-hole can cause hallucinations.
You're like next to your body is how I would describe it.
Prolonged heavy use of the drug can lead to serious kidney problems, as well as flashbacks, paranoia and depression. If mixed with alcohol or other illicit drugs, a ketamine overdose can be fatal. But despite the risks, ketamine use in Australia has exploded. In a recent survey, 300,000 people said they had used ketamine in the previous 12 months. 900,000 people said they had tried illegal ketamine during their lifetime.
In the last 3 years, since 2021, we have had an increase of at 130% in border seizures.
The AFP says Australia is a lucrative market for overseas criminal organisations.
It will fetch about $40,000 for a kilo. Seizure that we had in Melbourne last year of 145 kilo seizure, that's just about $6 million. Ketamine is being produced in East and Southeast Asia. It's making its way from Southeast Asia over to Europe and then from Europe into Australia.
Ben says buying illegal ketamine is easy to arrange using encrypted messaging apps like WhatsApp or Signal.
$200 to $300 for a bag, and then that bag is, if you only really need to do little bumps, you can sort of split that cost between quite a few people, like 3 or 4 people. And also, I feel like you're in a little bit more control in terms of like how far you want to push it. Hi there.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. So we've got one sample today?
Yep.
Sure thing. Do you want to just put it down there?
Ben has brought his ketamine to the CanTest drug checking service for analysis.
And we detected ketamine
Yep.
at a purity of 85%.
Okay.
So that's well within our high purity range.
The test also shows Ben's ketamine has been cut with something called Procaine.
It's a local anesthetic.
Okay.
So it's generally safe.
Mm-hmm.
Are you more, less likely to take it now that you know what's in it?
I would say, in terms of like confidence, I'm more confident to use it in the future. And there's nothing dangerous, like unexpected in there, so that was good news.
Around a third of ketamine samples brought to CanTest contained no ketamine at all. Some samples contained something called taltamine, a veterinary anaesthetic chemically related to ketamine, but much stronger. It's used on zoo animals and known at street level as polar bear ketamine. Other samples contained a new and emerging set of drugs known as analogues. These are imperfect chemical copies of ketamine that are much more potent, unpredictable, and dangerous.
We have a very, very good understanding of what medical ketamine does to people. But the new analogues that we've identified, no, not too sure at all.
Mitch Lamb works at the Canberra Alliance for Harm Minimisation and Advocacy. He's also been a DJ and promoter around Australia for over a decade.
We saw it firsthand when this compound was popping up. We just didn't know what it was.
First detected in Canberra in late 2022, CanKet is one of the analogues of ketamine and is much more potent.
They said they had ketamine, they had the same amount they usually had, but they're passed out in a bush, vomiting all over themselves. And I guess this is the real danger now in the emerging drug market, is that there's just so many of these things.
With pill testing only available in Canberra and Brisbane, those in the harm minimisation space say it's impossible to tell how many analogues are in the market.
It's an unknown unknown. The gap itself is an unknown unknown. We know that there are thousands of potential analogues. We don't know what most of them do to humans.
Illegal ketamine, a dangerous chemical lottery. James Viver, ABC News, Canberra.